Hello and welcome. You are listening to episode 93 of the Nearly Men Video Games Podcast, coming to you live on Twitch from Scotland on Thursday, 12th of August 2021. I am Colin Little, and joining me today is Blunderboy87.
Hello.
And Paul Kaczynski.
Well, hello there.
And together, we are the Nearly Men. And this episode of the podcast was brought to you by executive producer Hamster Boy. We have nothing to do with the video games industry. We don't make them. We don't sell them. We're not even particularly good at them. We are the Nearly Men, and at some point you have probably kicked our asses online.
Woo.
It's a true statement.
It's very true. Very true. Very true.
Although, what was the game we were very good at? Knockout City.
Knockout City. Nobody kicked our asses that night. They just got one. The community got one sympathy win eventually, just when we got a bit jaded.
Right.
We got a wee bit bored.
We were so exhausted from being so good at the game. I think we were just like,
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. We're just like,
our shoulders were heavy from carrying that.
And you know that way where the community had sort of decided they're like, we're going to keep playing until we win, and we're like, we're getting a bit tired here, lads. Maybe we'll just throw this one
To wrap this up.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough of that nonsense. Hello, gentlemen. How are you doing? Are you well?
Aye.
I'm fine. I'm a bit spacey. I'll put that out there, so you might see me zone out more than normal because I get my jab 2 days ago and it's having that impact. So apologies if I just like go to another planet for a wee while.
I'm getting mine tomorrow, and now I'm a wee bit nervous.
Are you getting the Fister? The Fister? Is that the
I'm
one?
getting it. If it would definitely be called the Fister if it was in GTA, wouldn't it? That's what they would definitely call the vaccine.
Yep.
Yes, Pfizer for me. Team Pfizer. Are you
wait.
Team Pfizer, Blunder?
Did you see this? Your Mazin anti-vaxxer calls herself Mrs. Doubtpfizer.
Yeah, I did see that, yes.
Did see that.
I think
it
was
that
posted
Tommy B.
on the memes page of the Discord. But yes, I'm Michelle Pfizer. That was me.
Michelle
Michelle
Pfizer,
very good.
That's the only way I could remember it. So I went to get my second jab, and they're like, "And do you know what you got?" And I was like, "Michelle Pfizer." I had to whisper the first bit just to make sure I said the right one.
And of course, Grandpa Nearly Men. You're something else, aren't you?
I'm one of the other ones, aye.
Are you Moderna or are you AstraZeneca?
AstraZeneca, I think.
AstraZeneca.
I'm full of the Zen.
Oh, that's Dolly Parton's one, isn't it?
AstraZeneca sounds
nice.
like some sort of like
Maybe.
late 80s, early 90s sort of like games console that was set up to try and battle Sega and Nintendo.
Oh, the AstraZeneca.
The AstraZeneca.
I was just a wee bit too pricey. It would have beat the Nintendo if it wasn't as pricey.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
It was the import costs from Sweden.
That's good. I wonder what. So obviously, Alexa, shut up.
Keep it doing, Alexa.
Keep it. I'm recording a podcast here, hen. So, you know, like, I've been upstaged by my technical goods. You know, like, so the Super Nintendo had the Super FX chip, right? And the N64 had the expansion pack, and the Sega had, I don't know what the Sega had, but what would be the defining? What would be the gizmo that would set the AstraZeneca apart from the Nintendo Entertainment System or the Master System or you know what would it be? I wonder. That's what we need to know. Blood clots are too easy. We're not going there. It's not that.
No.
It would be
a power arm.
I don't know. The power arm. The power arm.
I don't know what it is, but
what would the power arm do in a console?
Or like it would be like the first rumble pad, but it was so rumbly it gave you the shaky jakes.
The shaky jakes.
That's what original Steven says when you're hungover and you get the shaky jakes, which absolutely sent me when he first said it. And then I was like, but yes, I do have those.
Evil Monkey suggests 5G baked in. So there we go. That'd be in the 1990s. That would be revolutionary.
Yeah.
Do you know what I must say? See, if I was meant to get 5G with that vaccine, they lied because I had no service in the sports hall. I was sitting, I was raging.
Absolutely furious. Absolutely furious.
Like, what's going on?
The irony.
Wait, hold on, Blair. Hold on. Are you telling me that these anti-vaxxers are lying?
Yeah,
I know. That they're talking nonsense.
I was ready for supreme service wherever I went, but nah, I was just sitting in a sports
Unbelievable.
hall, not being able to read anything. I was like,
Just raging, just with his phone stuck to his face, furious.
I had to read a book. Well, a digital book. But I was like,
book?
Reading in public. Ugh.
Oh, that's quite. I tell you, that is quite a side effect of Blunder's now reading. Oh Jesus.
I read a lot. Thank you very much. And, this goes back to on MJ Plays Games stream or charity stream, which she raised $1,500.
She smashed it. She absolutely smashed it.
For MJ Play Games.
Brilliant.
We played Words with Friends. No, the thing I've played, Words on Stream or something like that, and it's basically like a big word search. You put in the words and you get points. And I came third. And she went, now, no offense, but I'm surprised you came third. And everyone was like shocked. It's like, to be fair, MJ probably thinks I can't read because in college, when we went to college together, I never did any of my written work until the last minute. I said, but I'm quite a fond reader. I love reading books. I was the top reader of my class.
Ooh.
But there you are.
Mm-hmm.
There you are. So there we go. Blunder's the geek of the Nearly Men, as if we didn't know that already. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, you know, basically, folks out there, I'm just going to level with you. There's not a lot of video games news this week, so I just decided to derail us instantly because we need to make up some time. If you would like to add to our content in future by giving us more things to talk about, well, here is how you get in touch.
Reaching the Nearly Men is easier than ever. Search for the Nearly Men Video Games podcast on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or your preferred podcast player. We stream on Twitch. Follow Colin at Colin_NM. Follow Paul at Paul Kaczynski, all one word. Follow Gary at Blunderboy87. And let's get social on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram where we are at Nearly Men, or go old school and email us on info@thenearlymen.com. Need all that again? Links are on our website, thenearlymen.com. So what are you waiting for?
Yes, so what are you waiting for? Well, as I said, there wasn't an awful lot.
What was that?
An awful lot. What
was that? Yeah, so what are you waiting
that was my
I was just
showbiz.
going to go by.
That was my showbiz.
Were you thinking of something else?
I am the greatest showman, and I was doing some showbiz. Listen, that's the razzmatazz you get.
That's
right,
when you've got
Barrymore
the pizzazz.
I've got a choir here and everything. I'm going to sing. I'll see you when we get there. See you when you get there.
Beautiful.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that clip of Michael Barrymore singing that song? It's
I have no
tragic.
Michael Barrymore.
No, man. Honestly, Michael Barrymore. See you when you get there, right? You will not regret it. I mean, you will regret it, but at the same time, watch it. It's hilarious.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
He had remember he had a TV show.
He had a few.
Like the Michael. Well, that's true. That's true. It was kind of his job for a long time. He had a TV show. I think it was called the Michael Barrymore Show, and it was this sort of like light entertainment nonsense that happened on a Saturday night. But for some inexplicable reason, he would like sing songs, and he couldn't really sing.
Oh,
that was a big thing in the 90s. Remember, like everybody just had hit singles or like albums, and you're like, but why?
Was he essentially trying to be Des O'Connor?
I guess so.
Des O'Connor wasn't a great singer, but you know he could sing and people liked him. But
well, on that, see when you get there, he's basically speaking it. It's
Rex
like
Harrison.
It's like a sort of spoken word. I think he's trying to rap. It is tragically bad. You really do need to check it out. Everybody, check it out. I mean, don't right now, but check it out. You know, once the podcast finished.
Spicking.
Don't start that again.
So as we said, there's one utterly ridiculous article by an utterly ridiculous newspaper, which barely bears any nonsense worth speaking about. It's the usual one where they need to divert attention from something else that's happening. Probably the Brexit shambles, the fact that our shops are all empty of food. So they've decided to try and make out that playing video games is the next pandemic that we need to go. It's absolute nonsense. It barely even registers any sort of reason to speak about. But apart from that, it's all the news we could find. So, I mean, does anyone want to weigh in on this nonsense at all?
It just feels like one of those opinion pieces and bunny ears just to get people annoyed so that they can then start a flame war online or something. And I think it's just.
Yep.
I didn't even bother going to look for it because I was just like, you know what? It's a waste of energy.
Yeah.
If it was going to be a pandemic, it's been pandemic since what, the mid-80s?
But it's just not, and it just seems a ridiculous sort of
Don't try
thing
and
to
blame the
drag
kids
on.
for enjoying their life during a pandemic. It's just like
and while we're actually going through a real pandemic, it
Yeah.
seems an incredibly bad taste to try and pretend that video games is something the
and it's
same.
insulting and offensive to people who've maybe like lost loved ones throughout this pandemic. It's like, oh, is the next Nintendo going to kill your gran? No, it's not.
And I will guarantee you this, for all of its faults, video games have probably done more good in this pandemic than that particular paper has by about 14 bazillion%.
Well, wasn't that a thing? Weren't computer games just getting praised just after the year mark because Animal Crossing came out? Remember they brought it forward. They brought Animal Crossing's release forward to bring people together and all that. And video games are getting praised like 3 months ago. It's clearly they're just looking to annoy people.
But you got to wonder what would we have done for that year? Near enough. I know Blunder was kind of, you were working. There was a little bit of time when you were sort of working from home, and then you were back working, and then you were working from home, and then you were back working. So you weren't
like a yo-yo.
Yeah, you weren't stuck at home the same way that Paolo and I were. But you know, I mean, it's decompression, it's de-stress, it's all that sort of stuff. And for Paolo and I, it gave us something to fill our days. It gave us the chance to actually make a bit of money and actually have a reason to get out of bed near enough at times. You know, it was.
It's just one of these articles. It's just a lot of nonsense. You know, it's what's the actual news that's happening that this has to be published? You know,
well, exactly.
What are they brushing under the rug? It's one of those
articles. Everything's been brushed under the rug.
Everything.
Anyway, don't read that paper.
I get blocked on Twitter actually.
Yes. Yeah.
I just love blocking things on Twitter. There'll be a day where you get the hot topic things in the top right, and I'll click it. Let's just go through and block everybody who's commented.
Build your rage.
Ban all the words. I'm like, I said, you'll never see my profile. I spent about 45 minutes one day doing it, and afterwards I was like, I'm knackered. I need to nap. That was great fun. I didn't even read the comments. As soon as the comment looks like it's like inflammatory or annoying, I'm like, block. And then there was someone's like, I mean, you could just mute people. I was like, no, I don't need the negativity out of my life. We're just going to block them all.
Right.
Add to banned lists. And then they start finding ways around your banned list, so you get to be banded the ways around it. Oh, it's great fun. It's a video game in itself.
It's a whole new culture.
No, it wasn't the Sun. It was a bit more upmarket than the Sun, but block the Sun too. Anyway, so there's not much news, but I am reliably informed that Mr. Kaczynski has some nonsense for us.
Aye! When you said there wasn't any news, I thought I better pull something together because you two won't.
No, yeah.
So...
No, well, do you know, it occurred to me to maybe pull some nonsense together, but I just didn't really want to.
I've got this in the back pocket. Right. So we're going to do getting to know your nearly man, right? Because you never know, right? Who wants to go first? I'm not going to tell you what you're doing. I just want to know who wants to go first.
Wait, what are you thinking, Blondie? Are you feeling brave, or am I
I'll
going
go first.
Blunder's going first.
Right, let's focus.
That means once Blunder does his bit, Blunder can go to sleep for a wee while.
See, that's what it is.
Right.
So we're doing getting to know your nearly man.
Oh.
Yes, we are. Music and everything, by the way. You guys won't hear it, but it's looking sexy.
You've lost me, though.
Oh, I've lost you. Where are you? Come back. Come back.
I was
Blender.
there, and then I had. Hey!
There he is.
I thought that was like Blind Date or something. It was like, da-na, 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 da-da-da-da. Let's see who's behind door number 2.
I'm your eligible.
Oh, it's Blunder.
Right, so Blunder.
Right.
I'm going to. It's one of the. It's dead simple. Dead simple. It's going to give you 2 things. You say what you prefer out the top of your head.
Oh,
Here we go.
Simple. Getting to know your Nearly Man. So, we've got 10 things. 10 choices, I should say. Now, it's up to you whether you answer it instantly. That's no as I mean, anybody who says Liam's wrong, basically.
Even Liam would say Chris.
Ah, exactly. Even Chris would say Chris. 4K or 60 frames per second?
You don't know what these mean. I'm gonna say 4K.
Dinner and drinks! So now you know your Nearly Man, people. Now you know Blunderboy 7.
Hey.
Beautiful, beautiful. I have to come out to say that BakerBoy32 in the chat is saying both Helmsworth brothers. Absolute filth.
I check. Are they Helms? I think they're Hemsworth. It's not
Hemsworth.
Helms.
Sorry, Hemsworth. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. It's just,
Actually, myself, MJ, Diet Punk, and original Stephen, Imagical Die had to talk about the Hemsworth brothers last night. But it's far too.
Oh, this would have been the thirstiest.
On the podcast.
I dread to think.
I mean, horrific.
Let's just say Paris was mentioned.
Oh.
You should work that out.
I'm letting that filter through.
No.
I'm letting it filter through.
Oh dear.
Shall we get to know Colin, everybody?
Yay!
Who's Colin?
Welcome, Colin. So,
hello.
like Blunderboy87, we've got 10 decisions to make here. It's up to you whether you do them light and fast or whether you let them float about in your head for a bit.
I suppose that depends on how hard the questions are.
Well, number 1, crisps or chocolate?
Crisps.
Oh. Number 2, Sega or Nintendo?
Nintendo.
Number 3, beer or whiskey?
Oh. beer.
Oh,
Just.
just. Didn't see that coming. Didn't
Just.
see that.
Just. It would have been a bit more different if it had been one or Red Dead 2 and The Last of Us 2, though.
Well, let's throw it out. Red Dead Redemption 2, Last of Us 2.
Last of Us 2.
Wrong!
Last of Us 2. But Red Dead 2 is excellent as well.
Lara Croft or Nathan Drake?
Lara Croft.
Ooh, didn't see that coming. And finally, dinner and drinks or takeaway Netflix?
Take away Netflix.
Yeah! So that is Colin and everybody!
Yay!
Getting to know your nearly man. Love
He
it.
sounds like a fun dude.
He sounds like a righteous dude.
That whiskey and beer one was very, very difficult. I think I went for quantity.
Oh,
If
I see.
I can drink a lot more beer, obviously, than I can whiskey. And
Debatable.
Still learning.
Well-
Still learning.
well, Blunder saw evidence to the contrary the other week, but it took me about a week to recover from
Yeah.
said.
Mark said, I bought this bottle of whiskey just because I knew you were coming, Colin, and Colin took that as a personal challenge. Because that bottle of whiskey was in the recycling bin the next day.
I did have help from MJ Play Games and also Blunder's boss.
Yes.
Oh, man.
But we demolished that bottle, and then at some point,
And then what, another
good,
bottle?
no, the good stuff got
The good
opened. Then the
stuff came out.
Glenmorangie came out, and
What's
I
the-
was very ill the next day.
Oh, like physically ill or just suffering?
No,
There's a big
didn't-
difference.
I wanted to
Aye.
purge myself, but actually wasn't able to. I'm very. I find it very difficult to vomit. If I do vomit, sorry everybody, then something's gone drastically wrong. But all day I thought I was going to. All day I felt like I could have. But it just didn't happen. But honestly, it was near enough a 3-day hangover.
Not gonna lie, I'm casting my mind back to Blunderboy's stag do, and you redecorated the place.
No, I did.
Although, to be fair, he is right. Something terribly wrong did happen, which led to that.
That's true. That's true.
I near enough fractured my skull and gave myself
Jesus.
concussion.
Oh my days.
I mean, to be fair, the 2-week hangover that I had due to concussion was probably the longest hangover I've ever had.
Oh my god, it's amazing how you sober up so quickly in situations like that.
I don't
When
know.
you did
I
that,
don't know what you're talking about. I didn't sober up.
I mean, everyone around me and Blunder were like that. Ding! Right, help.
I then subsequently went home and went into my bed and cracked my head again off my bedside table.
I think we should start putting one of those big padded helmets in you,
Yeah.
like how you wear for like the gladiators wear.
Aye, aye.
Like when you go anywhere for like.
Yeah, I think that's quite possible. I went to the doctor a few days later because it was still horrible.
You were having headaches. I remember you were
I-
playing like video game, saying this is sore.
No, it's horrible. Yeah, basically concussion gives you like a headache that will not go away from painkillers at all.
Funny that.
Yeah,
Brutal.
and you have like trouble concentrating. You you're quite short and quite irate, and I'm not the most tolerant person at the best of times.
I was going to say, have you been concussed for years?
Yeah, exactly. I get quite angry at the best of times. I'm very much Bruce Banner That's my secret cap. I'm always angry. And yeah, I was just raging, and Sherry Bobbins had just had enough of me. She's like, "We're going to the doctor," and I went to the doctor, and I was feeling rubbish, and I had a runny nose, and I told this junior doctor that I had a runny nose, and I just saw the whites of her eyes and like the colour drain from her face, and she disappeared off. And then they came back with another doctor, and they asked more and more questions because she was worried that I had spinal fluid running out my nose.
Oh my god!
Anyway, it was fine. It was absolutely fine. I survived. But I would recommend that, everyone in future drinks responsibly.
Yes.
Do as I say, not as I do.
And join us next week on the Nearly Men Medical Podcast.
Exactly. Anyway, that killed some time. Paolo,
What?
we've talked about the fragments of my skull rattling around. Have you got any crumbs rattling around, perhaps?
I do.
Oh yeah.
I do. Here's one for you. FIFA 22 is coming out. Oh yeah, it is. It's coming out end of September, start of October. No date's been dropped yet, as far as I remember. One of the main gripes when you're playing online is people's celebrations. FIFA 22 lets you turn off those celebrations. I'm not happy about it. So what it does basically is the person can celebrate, but if you've turned it off, it will show you your team disappointed as opposed to them cheering.
That seems like the most absolute, ridiculous sort of
It's total dummy.
snowflake response to anything in the world that you would turn that off. If you don't want to see your team, the enemy, the opposing team celebrate, don't let them score.
There you are.
It's bloody football. It's wild.
The Amiga 500 Mini is coming out. Do you remember the Amiga 500? You old enough, the pair of you?
I'm familiar with the Amiga. I've heard of it. I think I saw it in a museum once.
I knew that was coming there. I kept my mouth shut.
Amiga 500.
Amiga 5. There was Amiga 1200 was probably more your neck of the woods.
Amiga that was ancient, man.
Ah, it's ancient. It's kind of a fallout of Commodore, basically. Commodore 64 evolved into the Amiga. Anyway,
it does have a Commodore 64.
The Amiga 500 Mini is coming out in early 22, and it's one of these things similar to like your SNES Mini and all that jazz. It's coming out 22, and it's going to be £119.99, and it comes with 25 games already there, but you can have the ability to sideload additional games using a wee USB walloper. So that'll be fun.
A USB walloper? What the hell? That machine will do anything.
And your final crumb today, ladies and gentlemen, is there's been casting news from Sonic the Hedgehog sequel. No doubt you've heard about it. Idris Elba is going to play Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog. Idris Elba.
Like that.
That's a cool casting. I think Idris Elba will be very... Idris.
It's Idris, I think. It's Idris.
It's Idris.
Idris? Oh, no.
Now we're all
Idris.
As far as I was aware, it was Idris. Anyway, I think that's a very cool casting. I think he'll be great.
Is cool. Knuckles is just like too cool to function.
Knuckles is the coolest character of the whole lot.
You cast Mr. Elba in anything that becomes the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
When he played Stringer Bell in The Wire, that was like his sort of breakthrough role. Everyone was astonished that he wasn't American. It's an incredible performance.
Just like Hugh Grant. Not Hugh Grant, Hugh Laurie.
No,
Hugh Grant, the most English man on the planet.
I don't remember Hugh Grant in The Wire.
I was just like, who thinks Hugh Grant is the coolest person in existence?
Hello. I'm here in B-More to buy some drugs. Have you got some drugs? Would you possibly mind selling me some drugs?
Excuse me, I've just come from where I grew up in the Bronx, and anyway, that's your cozy crumbs.
There we are.
Oh, do you want your Game Pass things?
Hey, why not?
I forgot that was part of it. Right, Game Pass editions. Right, 10th of August, there was a Codemasters drop. On the console, you're getting Formula 1 2020, Formula 1 2019, Dirt 5, Dirt 4, Dirt Rally 2.0, and Grid. So they dropped all the racing games from Codemasters, basically. Also released on the 10th is Library of Runa on console and cloud. August 11th, That was yesterday. Boyfriend Dungeon on console, PC, and cloud. 12th of August, that's today. Art of Rally on console, PC, and cloud. 13th of August, tomorrow, Hades, console, PC, and cloud. A lot of people are excited for that.
Hades is good.
17th of August, Humankind for PC and Microsoft Solitaire Collection Premium Edition for the PC.
Ooh.
Humankind, I think I was interested in Humankind at one point. Yeah, check that out. 19th of August, 12 minutes for console, PC, and cloud. And the 25th of August, you're getting Psychonauts 2 for console, PC, and cloud. And let me tell you, later in the autumn, Stardew Valley is coming.
There we are. More and more value getting added to Game Pass.
Yeah, baby.
Nothing hugely jumping out at the moment, with the exception of Hades. I think Hades looks like it could be my jam. Really good things about it.
Psychonauts 2 are the two biggest ones, though.
Yeah.
Did you play Hades, Blunderboy?
Yeah,
you did. I
thought
you did. Thought you did. Yeah.
Everyone's like a babe in it. Like everyone, it's like the most handsomely drawn cast of characters you'll ever see.
Nice.
There we are. Yeah, so that is your Game Pass editions. Now, we do, of course, have some subbies.
Yay,
Subbies.
So we'll of course start on the Xbox side of town with the games with gold. From the 16th of July to the 15th of August, you can get Rock of Ages 3 Make and Break. That's an action/racing game, allegedly. From the 1st of August to the 31st of August, you've got Darksiders 3. Also, from the 1st of August to the 15th of August, you get Lost Planet 3. And then from the 16th of August to the 31st of August, you get Garu, Mark of the Wolves. And from the 16th of August to the 15th of September, you get Yooka-Laylee. Over in the PlayStation side of town, for the PS5 and the PS4, you're getting Hunter's Arena Legends. For the PS4, you're getting Plants v Zombies, Battle for Neighborville, and also you're getting Tennis World Tour 2. So there we are. That is your subbies. Anything grabbing you there, gentlemen?
Nah.
Not particularly, nah. Tennis
World
Tour was alright, but it wasn't anything. It was alright.
Yeah. I mean, the Plants v Zombies games are always a bit of fun, but they're
I added that to my library just in case.
Yeah, well, it's the sort of game we'll end up playing at some point, isn't it? So it's always good. I haven't added it yet. I should do that.
Don't forget. I forgot with Street Fighter. Remember?
I know.
I missed 1 month.
I forgot when Neo.
Oh,
I forgot when Neo. I think I was away doing Panto or something at the time, and completely missed that entire month. And I was kicking myself. So that's a bit of a bummer. Anyway, let's move over to games now. We last Thursday night had a wonderful time playing with some of the community on the wonderful Project Winter. What were your thoughts on Project Winter, gentlemen?
I liked it. I thought it was really good. It's something that I had my on many moons ago, and just never get round to playing. I'm not brilliant at these kind of games. Usually because I tend not to know what I'm doing to begin with, and then would never play it again.
yeah, that does happen, doesn't
it? And I'm awful at lying, but no, it was nice. I quite liked this as opposed to Among Us because I don't know, it just felt a bit more up my street. I don't know why.
More to do.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. And obviously it's wider. It's open, as opposed to down corridors and things like that. So you don't know who you're going to come across, and you don't know if you're passing somebody that are going to be there when you go back and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But no, I quite liked it. Yeah.
So for anybody that doesn't know the game, it's basically a sort of survival / social deduction game, like Among Us or like another game that I'm going to talk about in a little while. Basically, you've got a team of there's 8 players, all on this frozen wilderness, and they have to try and survive and find a way to get home. But 2 members of the team are, what are they called in this? Are they thrall or are they imposed? They're traitors. Sorry, I'm getting it. So they're traitors in Project Winter, and their job basically is to to try and either kill the other survivors or at least sabotage their plans to escape. Basically, the traitors win if the survivors don't escape, and obviously the traitors lose if the survivors do. It was a lot of fun. Blunderboy was an absolute sociopath at it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm very good at murdering people and getting away with it, it seems.
Yep. What was your thoughts on it, Blunder?
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. I think when we started it, I was like, is this going to be good? Is it just going to be like another Among Us? It's just run and do things. But it was a lot of fun. I think what made it interesting was you had to do things as a group. It wasn't like, so Among Us, you get to do all your wee activities, but they tend to be solo, whereas this you had to rely on each other.
Yep.
And then also the food and the cold management. So you got to go inside to heat up or eat food so you stay alive. And the world events were fun. So it turns everyone into rabbits and no one knew your identity. And then the other world event is it warps you to another bit of the map and a solar flare. Like the rabbit one, well, after a while I knew how that worked. I basically managed to trick Colin into believing that unauthorized cinnamon was the traitor. And it was I was like,
and I promptly murdered unauthorized cinnamon.
Yeah, so basically what happened is we're all bunnies, and I ran in and I actually shot Yuzi, who was the other traitor, first.
Yep.
And then everyone chased me. And as I ran away, I noticed Cinnamon had pulled out a crossbow, so I put me in my inventory and literally looked the loop in a bunch of trees and ran out behind Colin. And then we all chased Cinnamon. And then they all murdered him, and I was like,
it was fabulous. Only made better when towards the end when I was the baddie and I shotgunned the Blunder at close range.
Yeah, I was like, but no, it was fun. And do you know what I love just now? I love the fact I've got about 4 or 5 games now that are all about betraying and murdering your pals.
Yep.
It seems to be a really big genre now.
Isn't it blew
and
up?
there's so many different versions of the same idea, and they all do different things a wee bit differently, and they're all fun their own way. And I think Among Us has a lot to thank for starting it off, but I think a lot of games have just overtaken it. So like played Among Us, played Project Winter, there's Dread Hunger, which I've started to play. There's the one in the one I like in the cruise ship.
First class
trouble, which is hilarious. And when you die in first class trouble, you get to become a wee vacuum cleaner and fly around and shoot things. But like there's so like it's a growing genre, which is it's a weird genre, but people seem to love it.
Yep. Yeah, well the social deduction games really are quite something. And it is definitely, Among Us was a big thing. Even in America, I think AOC and a number of senators were playing it one night on Twitch with 400,000 people watching them play. It really is an amazing thing. I saw over in Scotland, 10:30 JH James Houston was playing Among Us one night, and the SNP dropped by. So that's obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, that's the Scottish government. And at that point, he basically put out. He just said he chanced his arm. He put out basically said to him, get Nicola Sturgeon, the First Minister, and Mary Black, for instance, get them to come and play with me. And apparently, the SNP didn't actually just like knock it out the park. They actually went, well, we might be able to do that. so now I don't think it's ever actually come to anything. It may still, but these are really fascinating games, and obviously Among Us is a bit more simple than this one is. This one's a bit trickier to do. As Blunder says, it does have a survival mechanic. You have to gather supplies, you have to cook, you have to craft items, you have to fight the cold, manage your heat, manage all that sort of stuff. That's an added level of difficulty, but at the same time, it doesn't detract from the actual kind of meat and the bones, which is actually the sort of betrayal and the deception, and it's even got a wee thing at the start of the game where it basically tells you this game's all about lying to people. Don't take the huff if somebody lies to you or betrays you. It's all part of the game, and I like that, because I think some people do, almost need to understand that this is not quite like any other game, and you can't trust even your best friends when you're playing this game.
We know, Colin.
It was exactly. I had so much fun with it. I really did. I was very conscious because I've played another game that's very similar that, of course, I'm going to talk about. I wasn't sure how well this would hold up, and it is a different kind of game. I think I do prefer Dread Hunger, just for my own particular feelings. However, this game's excellent, and I can't wait to play it again. It is on Game Pass, so it also has PC crossplay and all that sort of stuff as well. So it's definitely worth checking out. But I had an awful lot of fun with Project Winter. Any other thoughts before we move on? No. All right, Mr. Kaczynski, what have you been playing?
I've been playing the usuals. Just the usuals. Flight Sim on a Sunday. I didn't get to do Halo on Monday night because my internet was down.
That's right.
Gutted I was. But I did finally dip my toe into the Class W Corner Grand Theft Auto RP server. And it was I've played it quite a few times, but I've only streamed it once. And it was lovely because streaming it forced me to do RP more, which was nice. And it just seemed to fit better than doing it off stream. I don't know why, but it just seemed easier to RP when you're on stream. So Steve Stevenson began his journey in Los Santos, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Blunderboy spoke about it last week, so I'll not talk too much about it. But it's just so much fun walking about the streets. So you're doing your own thing, and then you might come across someone that you can interact with, and it's a human being that you can speak with. It's very fun. I've not done huge amounts of roleplay, as in I've sought it out. I've not set up a storyline for myself or anything like that. I've just kind of been going in, just feeling it out, basically, just to get used to it, because it's my first experience of role playing on a server like this. So I'm the one to go in and going, well, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm just kind of a periphery character, just enjoying watching things going on and
going with the flow.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so much fun. I'm still learning how to actually do things and all that jazz. But I know Blunderboy's a bit more deeper into it than I am.
Well, this.
No. Tell the folks Steve Stevenson's profession.
Well, exactly.
He's a professional what? He's a professional.
Well, he's not really professional. He's not really professional anymore, is he?
He's a bit of a lad. We've decided, myself and my chat decided that he's going to start lying to people about being a child performer. So he'll say things, like I was the baby in Three Men and a Baby, or I was Macaulay Culkin's brother in Home Alone, things like this, and I didn't get much chance to do it after we decided to do it, but one of my favourite moments, there was a car that was winding me up, they were bamming me up, and it was doing that whole thing of whenever I go near them, they would drive away. And it didn't occur to me until, they must have done it for about half an hour, and it didn't occur to me to about 20 minutes in that it could have been Blunderboy. I think it was Brian in the chat had said, what's the chances that this is Blunderboy? And I was like, didn't think of that. But it wasn't. It was just too good.
I can't afford the car.
Blunder would have run you down.
Aye. Well, that was the thing. I was kind of messing about with them and kind of playing their game, but also trying to doing what I was doing. And as I went to go, and I tried to catch the car, and at one point they were kind of jammed, and I thought, I'm going to get in their car if I catch them. And I almost got to them, but I pressed the button, and I get in the wrong car. I get in a taxi. Which was also being driven by a real player. So I got out the taxi, and then the taxi ran me over. So now I'm tempted to sue the taxi company, but the taxi company are dodgy. I love it. But the boys kind of caught up with me at the casino and all that, and I started kind of saying things like, "Why are you following me? You just want an autograph and all that?" No, we don't want an autograph. We don't got a pen on us anyway. And I was like, "Well, I could send it to your home address and all that if you want to give me your home address." It's just so much fun. It's so much fun. It's just a lot of nonsense.
My favourite moment. We're seeing it just now here on the screen. But this was a moment where I genuinely thought Paul was going to get battered by the police for just being a pest. And asking ridiculous questions. It was very entertaining. Just all sorts of stuff. And we found out about the existence of taser-proof jackets, apparently. It was very entertaining, and I was sort of sitting there going, "Oh, this could be a lot of fun."
I'm just seeing in the chat, Husbands came in saying hello to the new DA. Is he talking about you, Blunderboy? Are you the DA? I didn't even know this.
Yeah, so that night you were streaming, you actually were messaging me about the breaking and entering. That was me.
You
Reed
read?
Valentine.
Oh my gosh! Love
This
it.
is brand new information.
I love it. This is what's so good about it. And Blunderboy and I spoke about this before, about how you might people that are on the server, but you might meet people and not know who that is, or you might recognise a voice. I've met Diet Punk, and I think he recognised me instantly. I knew him because I'd watched him streaming before, and I knew what his hair looked like, and from his adverts in the Discord and all that kind of stuff. It's just so bonkers. I had no idea that was you. That's mental. Love it. Love it.
Yes. So I'm cannot wait to see a sort of Harvey Dent style fall from grace for Blunderboy. That's going to be really interesting.
That's the funny thing. So like, Reed Valentine and Damien Sarr are the polar opposites of everyone. It's like polyester versus Prada. So like, so the DA is really straight laced. Like he was at the nightclub the other night, and he was like shy dancing awkwardly in the corner because he was just like, I don't really know what I'm doing here. And like he's very by the book and sensible car, sensible suit, not wasting taxpayers' money. Whereas Damien Starr, who's Diet Punk's character, is very flamboyant with the Gucci Prada jackets and the big flash car and all that. So they're so opposite personality wise.
Blunderboy's the Elliot Ness of Los Santos.
Yeah, so but it's like just it was dead interesting because I did a drive round. I shadowed a detective basically like last night.
A ride along.
So and we actually got to go to a crime scene and he was looking for fingerprints and stuff. And then on the way back found another crime scene where there'd been shots fired. They found like traces of blood and bullet casings. He took his evidence. And then the day before I was down watching Damien talk to cops about a crime that'd been committed, and he was like trying to get them off like a reduced sentence or whatever. And it was good watching it all to build up to me eventually coming in being like, I'm the DA.
Nice.
It's dangerous to stream. Sorry, I know we're kind of going over time here, but it's dangerous to stream because as I found out when I was streaming, as I was looking at the time when I was due to kind of nearly finish, I thought, if I get caught up in something, because as I say, I was thinking about suing the taxi firm for knocking me over. So I went to the news team, and they were busy. I thought, well, I'll go to the police then instead and try and see if I can do it with them. And there was nobody there. And then I suddenly thought, oh, if I start this now, I could be here for a good couple hours doing stuff.
Standing in a waiting room.
I mean, whereas I was thinking I'm finishing in 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh, if I get into a big role play about this, that's me for 2 hours or whatever.
That's how crimes don't get reported, Paolo. That's
exactly.
how baddies get away with it.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
The wheels of justice move very slowly.
But it's great fun, honestly. You need Colin. Come on. You need to get in, son.
I mean, maybe I should have got friends in high places now. I didn't know I knew the DA.
Exactly.
And the Wayne from Three Men and a Baby. I mean, this could be. I mean, that's all the bases covered, isn't it? I mean, jeez,
It's a good laugh. It's a very good laugh.
I tell you what, Blunder, what have you been playing?
Well, one I'm not going to talk much about, but one is I've went back to Vampire, which Colin you reviewed last year.
Oh, a couple of years ago now. No, probably nearly 3 years ago now.
It was on
release.
2 years ago.
Well, I was in the man when you reviewed it, I'm sure.
It was definitely on release.
Yeah.
We got it. I played it ahead of release. I played it under embargo. It's by Vampire by Don't Nod.
2018, June 2018.
Jeez, no way.
So 3 years, there you go.
Crikey. But no, I was just saying before we started, it's been great going back to it because I was enjoying the story and fell away because other games came out. And it was on sale for like £8 in the PSN. So I just got it on my PS5 because as a disc I've got my PS4 and I was like, no, thank you. And it just, I think it's been patched. The combat felt much not easier, but made more sense. I remember really struggling with the combat when I first played. And it's just that dark gothic horror which I'm enjoying. But the other,
sorry, I was just going to say it was all right. It's like a sort of solid 6.5 to 7 out of 10. I would say it's okay. It's probably better, slightly better than okay. It's the kind of game which you just know if they made Vampire 2, it would be amazing. You just know that
Yeah.
they would much like Assassin's Creed 2 to Assassin's Creed or whatever. It just feels like the sort of game that there's lots that they could fix, and if they just tweaked everything a little bit, but with what they had, I think they could make a brilliant game out of it. Yeah.
It's a slow burner. It's very story based. The combat and stuff is in it, but I think for me, the story aspect's really, really quite good. But it can be so sort of Baker Boy, who's in the chat. I'd say to them that I'd restarted it and they're like, oh gosh, I tried that, but it was so boring and slow and nothing happened. And I was like, I've done about 17 side quests, so stuff's happening for me. But again, that's me going back to it and kind of knowing what I'm doing. I think the first run is kind of rough. You're just like, I don't know what's happening. But no, I'm looking forward to going back through that. But I did pick up last week before, Ender Lillies. It's got a longer link title, that Ender Lillies, The Quietest Nights, I think it's called. And I was just looking for something new to play and something that was just a wee bit different. So this is like a Metroidvania type game. And there's been lots of these the past couple of years. And it's definitely Metroidvania meets Dark Souls style wise, because obviously Castlevania games had really difficult bosses all the time. So this has that. It's got the bosses that have like 3 different stages as you dwindle their health down. And the whole story seems to be so the main character is Lily, this little girl in the middle of the screen. And she's a priestess of the White Church. And this blight has befallen the land. Now we don't know when it's befallen the land because she's been asleep. And a night of not Templar. Oh, it's like a witchy name. Wakens her from her slumbers that you need to come help save the world, and basically you have to go around the world and try and cure the world of this blight. And it's interesting. So the monsters are like were human ones, so they were human at one point, and they've been corrupted by the blight. But sometimes you meet monsters that still retain their thoughts, and when you either kill them or you find them in the land, you purify or release their spirit, and they join you as your different weapons. So she doesn't actually fight; all the weapons are the different spirits, and you find more and more spirits as you go around. So, like usually when you defeat a boss, that's your power up. You get a new move. So, like the first one. So your main dude, your knight, he's like your sword. But then the first big spirit you beat when you summon her, she like swings a mace and does like a large area of attack.
Okay.
And then she gives you a double up jump ability, and the more when you fight bosses, you get power up. So it's nothing new formula wise, but it just does it so nice. The music is beautiful, the art style is lovely. It's really fun, and I think it's like 20 quid. And for my money so far, I've put about 15 hours in.
It's got. I see Odentior saying in the chat as well, and immediately I thought of Hollow Knight. It looks
Hollow Knight
quite
as
like Hollow
well.
Knight.
Kind of bloodstained Ritual of Night, Ritual of something. It's kind of get that feel to it as well, which again was another Metroidvania game that I played last year, which was really, really good. So
It's
I'm
definitely got that
enjoying
hollow.
these smaller game studio attempts at big budget type games because it's been really good so far.
Oh, it looks great. But I mean, Metroidvanias. I mean, I don't know. You know, they probably are quite a difficult game to get right, but at the same time, I feel if you sort of just stick to the sort of fundamentals of them and do them well, then they're always going to be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
And it's got that Hollow Knight art style in particular. No, it looks really cool.
It's
actually,
very
I must
pretty,
say.
Yeah, the music is gorgeous, and each area has its own sort of like theme. And some of them are really right earworms. You'll be humming them for like the rest of the night. No, I'm really enjoying it. So I can't even. I thought I was about halfway through the game, but then off stream I went and explored a bit more and found about 5 new areas, and I was like, I don't know where I'm game. So I'm expecting a whole lot more story. And because the main character's got amnesia, you'll learn the story as she learns it. So they do the amnesia trope, but it's quite nice. Kind of try to piece it together as you go. But yeah,
did you ever play Hollow Knight?
I have watched MJ Play Games play it, and I have it. I've just never played it.
It's good. It's very good. I wouldn't recommend streaming it because the back seating in that game is absolutely.
I remember that from MJ Play Games. He streams. She was just like, "Thank you, leave me alone."
I was warned by another streamer before I played it, who actually said to me, "Just so you know, the worst backseating I ever experienced was during that game." And then, sure enough, it was outrageous. You're like, just chill out, just chill out. Let me play the game. Yeah, but very fun, but it did somewhat put me off it. But that looks great. That looks really good fun.
No, I'm really enjoying it.
I've got a couple of games to talk about. One of them, first one, I'm gonna jump back to 1998. 1998, and play one of my favourite games from my when I was in first year at school, which was Hexen 2, the FPS with groundbreaking 3D graphics at the time, set in a fantasy world, very very violent and lots of fun. I was streaming this the other day. Probably going to play some more. Managed to pick it up for like I think it was 189 for like a full collection of Hexen and Heretic and everything.
Bargain.
On Steam, and yeah, absolutely. I tell you, it's rock hard though. The maps are absolutely inscrutable at points. You're like, I can't work out where to go. I don't know. Is this how we used to play games? But boy, what a lot of fun. And it would be great to play it again. I'd love it. I see husband saying in the chat needs a reboot. Can you imagine a new Hexen? I would be there front and center for a new Hexen. But I had a lot of fun playing Hexen 2. I'm gonna play some more of it at some point. It really is a lot of fun. And actually plays very well. Obviously, you'd expect, seeing as the game's about 75 megabytes. But actually, still looks quite good. Still looks quite good, actually. There's a lot of those sort of like early 3D games that really do not look great these days. But actually, Hexen 2 held up pretty well. I was quite pleased with that. But the game I really want to talk about, after we're talking about Project Winter, is a game I was talking about on the previous podcast. Hadn't a chance to have a shot of it. It is, of course, Dread Hunger. Oh my goodness. I had so much fun playing this. I've streamed it a couple of times. I think I'm going to stream it again, hopefully this weekend. Virus or vaccine depending, obviously.
Might be just a ticket.
Wow, honestly, it's so much fun. Is this me? I believe this is footage of me murdering UZ83.
Had to be.
After so in this particular moment, I was the thrall, and I had survived the night. I'd been eating human flesh and all sorts of things out in the wilderness, and I happened across Yuzi, who was very very much sure that I was the thrall. I said, "I'm not the thrall. I found this camp. There was loads of supplies. I've got food. I've got medicine. I've got everything. I just don't have any weapons. I just had to run here from a wolf and all that." And poor Ewan, he's like, "Oh," and I said, "Listen, do you want some food? I've got food. Do you need medicine?" And he's like, "Oh, well, yeah." So I gave him food. I gave him medicine. He said, "Well, listen, if you promise not to kill me, I'll make you a weapon." I went, I won't kill you." So he made me a gun and a number of bullets, and I shot him in the back of the head. And the absolute disgust in his voice was absolutely amazing. And then I overheard, well, unfortunately, I was streaming and it's got proximity chat, and you do have push to talk, but I've got push to talk toggled. And I was fairly sure that, I was like Gollum, I'm like Gollum and Smeagol, but the Gollum side's my chat. So I was too busy talking away to my chat about my mischievous plans, and I had my push to talk on. Little did I know there was a wee rabbit out in the wilderness, just in earshot of me, listening to my evil plan. And that was Mr. Kaczynski, wasn't it, Paolo? What were you thinking? What were you thinking as you heard me?
Heard it all. I saw you kind of at the camp. I think you killed Yuzi on my way. I came to the camp, and there was a wee ledge just about 20 meters from the tent, so I could hear Colin. And I kind of hid at the bottom of this ledge. I could hear Colin just going, right, well, just put this here, guys. We'll just put this here. That's nobody needs to know about that. I'm like, oh my god, it's him! And then cannibals attacked me. And as I died, I was going, I knew it was you! I knew it was you!
I knew it was you, Fredo! And Paolo, who do you think sent the cannibals?
Aye, well, now, because I clipped this for this, now I know. Unreal, man.
I love it.
See, that's the thing. You feel free if you're the thrall to say things within earshot, as long as you've got a backup plan organised. I love the fact that you later, as you reclipped this, you got a double treachery as you realised that not only had I've been the murderer, but also I killed you as well. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased.
Unreal, man.
What did you think of the game, Paolo?
I liked it. I only got one game of it.
Yeah, you didn't get a lot of
guys,
time to play.
just because of time. But yeah, it was nice. I was kind of watching and listening a lot to see what people were doing, to see what you do. Because a bit like Project Winter, it's not just as simple as like doing tasks and then kind of working out who the baddies is. There's things to explore and places to go and different things to do, basically, to get this ship moving. That's the object, is to get this ship through the ice. I loved certain aspects of it. I love the fact proximity chat's always a winner for me. I love proximity chat.
Yeah.
I love simple things that I love at the end of the game, that it gives you a map of where you went, and it kind of tells you where you went and the order of which you did things and all that. I quite like that. It's interesting. I don't know what I'd do if I was the baddie. I don't think I could do that yet.
The game is still very much in early access, so you can get it for £19.40, I think it is, on Steam. It's still early access, but they're adding new stuff. They added new maps, they're adding new characters, and they've got quite a good roadmap of stuff that they're adding. I think I may be wrong, but I think it's supposed to come out of early access October, November time. So, but it's really good.
It's very playable.
Really good.
Very playable, very fun.
And I'm genuinely having a lot of fun. It's harder than Project Winter.
Yes.
The sort of survival mechanics are much more aggressive. We actually turned down some of the hunger and stuff because, much like the forest, you get super hungry and super cold very quickly, and that can be tough. There's also an approaching blizzard, and there's of course wolves and things. The polar bear is no joke. We arrived in the second map, and there was a polar bear near our boat, and we all thought, let's go and deal with this polar bear. The polar bear killed 5 of us, 5 out of the 8. It was unbelievable, but
good fun though.
A lot of fun, and I cannot wait to play it again. As I said, all going to plan. I'm going to play it again this weekend. And yeah,
there's something if you've played Among Us and you cash everything back to when you go in a room and it's just you and someone else, and if you're not the killer, waiting for them to almost do something, or whether they're not going to do it there, it's about 10 times heightened, I think, in this.
And it's the proximity chat as well, as you said, because you just start hearing a voice very faintly in the distance, and you can be in a blizzard, and you're like, I'm freezing, I'm going to die, I'm going to have to go to this voice in the hope that they've got supplies. but if they're the thrall, they're going to kill me.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll have to kill them. I don't know what to do. And you're also like, they might not be the thrall, but they might think I'm the thrall. And if they're going to try and kill me, I'll have to kill them just in case.
Yeah.
and it's this sort of moral dilemma you have, and these sort of like standoffs where you're sitting there sort of trying to justify where you've been. Like, whoa, how did you survive this? I was literally building fires all night. Nah, you wouldn't have survived that. No, I was building fires all night. It's fabulous. Really great.
The only one thing, and I think I said it at the end of the game, was I think there needs to be some sort of role play thing in it where if you're killed, you can't then come back and go, yeah, Colin's a thrall, he killed me. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I think there needs to be a tighter lip than that.
When you die, much like Phasmophobia, which is another game I played, I forgot to say that. I played Phasmophobia and had a lot of fun with that the other night with Bri and Yuzi and Loradora. And very similar to Phasmophobia, when you die in this game, you become a ghost and you can't speak to anyone, but you can like float about and watch what's happening, which is a lot of fun in itself. But you do get a second chance in this game at the moment, and when you die, you awaken in the brig, and of course, if somebody's murdered you, you can go and tell them. So I think it's probably, a sort of like rule you would have to have with everyone where you say, you cannot kill somebody, but you're still going to have that knowledge. You're still going to know who to avoid. So it's a tricky one. I don't know whether maybe there is no second chances, and once you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah, it's maybe something like that.
It would certainly make the games last a bit quicker, wouldn't it?
True.
Or make the games a bit shorter. But it's a fabulous game, and I can't wait to see what they do with it next. I think it's probably a fairly easy game to sort of get the sort of hang off, quote unquote, but it'll be a really hard game to master. I think it's you know, and I mean we're still nowhere close to completing a level. We could not escape. It was so hard, and certainly the thralls were doing very well. Yeah, it was great.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll need to, I'm sure there'll be more developments about that game certainly to come. The lovely viewers have been in touch, and first of all, we have to hear from Mr. Colin Mac 42, who got in touch in the Discord, and he's got a bit of an announcement. Haven't had time to play anything else recently because of the grind to be Pirate Legend, baby. That's right. Colin Mac made it to Pirate Legend. He had some help from Pirate Legend.
Thanks.
Me, but just in case I hadn't made that clear.
Oh, I thought it was me there.
No, I mean
right.
you were also there.
I was there.
You didn't do much.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, Colin says, but I hope to get my teeth into something new. Have been playing a little Halo Master Chief Collection and really enjoying it all over again. Total blast from the past. On a side note, when are we playing Wreckfest again?
Oh, yes.
That's a good question. I'm sure it'll appear at some point. Dancing Toaster got in touch on the Discord. I'll be excitingly playing the beta for FIFA 22.
Oh, exciting.
As well you know.
I do know, yes, I do know.
Jamesy42 got in touch on Twitter. I have been on the Sea of Thieves, and apart from somehow wedging my ship 2 days in a row, getting to grips with the game and having fun. I did get a panicked message from Jamesy basically saying, how do I get a ship to go backwards? it's like, oh dear. Also jumped back into Halo, and I still hate driving the Warthogs.
Oh my god, they're a nightmare.
Yeah, they're awful.
An absolute nightmare.
Queen of the North got in touch on the Discord. I've been playing God of War, and I also played some Until Dawn as part of a channel reward, and honestly, anything that moves in that game terrifies me. We've got another newly minted Pirate Legend also got in touch. Audentior got in touch in the Discord.
Huzzah!
Just made it to Pirate Legend last night. I have been playing a really chilled adventure game called Air Memories of Old. Got it for £2 on a recent Steam sale, and if you're into games like Abzu, it's for you. Awesome soundtrack too. It's usually about 12 quid or so, I think. So there we go.
Nice.
And congratulations to Audie and to Colin for making Pirate Legend. Scruffy got in touch in the Discord. Scruffy says, hello, SnowRunner. Finally got my wheel, pedals, and shifter working nicely.
Nice.
Some farm sim. Ooar. Is that a special edition of Farm Sim or something? I don't know. Loved the Halo Infinite tech demo. Far exceeded my expectations. Hype for Forza Horizon 5 is rising. Oh, and Hades is hitting Game Pass tomorrow. I'll be trying that. There we go.
I signed up for the Halo Insider purely on the hype from Scruffy about Halo Infinite.
He's gone Bearsy with it, isn't he?
Aye.
I might have to check it out myself. Jabrias. His name's Jabrias. Jabrias got in touch on the Discord. Finished my run of Psychonauts and had great fun, even though the game is 16 years old. Oh, I didn't know it was that old.
Oof.
The level design is great. Also loved the beta for Back 4 Blood, which was enjoyable with randoms, but I reckon it will be best with people you know. And I've just dipped my toe back into Star Citizen after the most recent update.
Oh, tempted.
On Twitter, Gav the Lad got in touch, continuing my new playthrough of Skyrim, and every now and again jumping on Rocket League. Perhaps a Nearly Men Rocket League tournament should be on the cards. Ooh.
Oh, I'm dreadful at that game.
You obviously didn't see us play that the other week, Gav the Lad.
Aye, we're awful at it. Awful.
I don't understand what to do. I just scream the whole time.
Do you know who's really good at Rocket League?
Well, Gav's good at it.
Well,
Gav is good.
But Audentior is a bit of a player. He's a bit of a player.
Oh, right. Well, we're not having a tournament if we're not going to at least do okay at it.
But we could put Audie in our team.
Well, that's an option.
Queen of the North as well. Queen of the North's very good apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Just load up our team with that.
Yeah, we could stack the deck, couldn't we? And finally, Original Steven got in touch on Twitter. Replayed Silent Hill Origins this week and loved it. I've also been replaying Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Definitely hoping for a sequel to this one. Ooh.
Oh, surely.
Well, again, I think it's the sort of game that if they did make a sequel, they could do a
finesse.
brilliant job of it, because it's not it's got its moments. It's got, I really like the story. Thought it looked nice and flash, but I thought it was a very dated game gameplay wise. I found it quite flawed. I was playing it at launch and it was a bit of a glitchy mess at various points. I think it has been fixed with a lot of patches that have fixed a lot of the fundamental issues like clipping and hitboxes and various other things that was a major problem when I first played it. But yeah, it just feels quite old fashioned. That was my one problem with it. Again, fairly kind of standard, sort of like 6.5, 7 out of 10. I thought it certainly wasn't terrible, but I just had such high hopes for it, and it just wasn't quite what it was. But yeah, there we go. I'm glad to see that Steven's enjoying it, and I would also quite like a sequel to that. Anyway, that's what the viewers and listeners have been playing. If you would like to get in touch and tell us what you've been playing, here's how you do it.
We'd love to hear from you. Find us on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram, where we are at Nearly Men, or email info@thenearlymen.com.
No.
There we go. So we've got some new releases for you. I'm going to fly through these. There's not a massive amount. We've got a couple of big ones, though. A couple of big ones. So, as mentioned before, tomorrow, that's the 13th of August, on Game Pass on Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles, you've got Hades from Supergiant Games. That's going to be a lot of fun. Also, we've got Paw Patrol Adventure City Calls. That's coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. That's from Bandai Namco. Scrap Garden is coming to the Switch. That's also on the 13th. And also on the 13th, we've got Witch Springs 3 Refine, the story of Faraday. Is that right? Faraday?
That's me.
Whatever. That's out tomorrow. Shadowverse Champions Battle is out on the Switch on the 13th as well. And then on to the 17th, which I guess is, what's that, Monday, Tuesday? We've got Greek Memories of Azure. That's coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and of course the Switch. That's of course from Team 17. Ooh. Humankind is coming to PC and Stadia on the 17th as well.
Stadia.
On the 18th, I know. On the 18th, we've got Skydome coming to PC. On the 19th of August, we've got 12 Minutes. That's coming to PC and Xbox One. Also on the 19th, we've got Mayhem Brawler. That's coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. And also on the 19th, we've got Monster Train First Class. That's coming for the Switch. We've got Monster Harvest coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. That's also on the 19th. And again, on the 19th, we've got Rims Racing. That's coming to the PC, to the PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series consoles, and also coming to the Switch. On the 20th of August, we've got Arietta of Spirits, which is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. And then also we've got a big one on the 20th of August. We have Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. That's coming to PS4 and PS5. It features a brand new island and a brand new huge chunk of single player content, DLC. It's also going to have some massive changes on PS5, including what Paolo wanted. You're getting the Japanese lip sync.
Yes!
The Japanese lip sync is coming.
I'd forgotten about it.
Yep, it's coming. It's getting some huge stuff, and there's also a new mode in Legends as well. So Legends isn't getting left behind either, and we've had a lot of fun with Legends. The raid notwithstanding. So we have to do right, boys. We are hopefully going to get our hands on this game in the coming weeks, and we have to do that raid if we can. We have to do that raid. I refuse to let that happen. On the 24th of August, we've got Kina, Bridge of the Spirits, which I know Blunder's excited about.
Yeah, very.
It's PC, PS4, and PS5. Also, we've got Psychonauts 2 coming on the 25th of August. On the 26th of August, we've got Have a Blast coming to PC and Switch. And finally, on the 27th of August, we've got No More Heroes 3 coming to the Switch.
Didn't realise that was out so soon.
There you go.
There we go. So so that's your new releases. So obviously, I guess there's a couple of ones there. Hades, obviously. Bridge of Spirits, Kena Bridge of Spirits. For me, it's got to be Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. I'm super looking forward to that.
Did you platinum it in the end?
Do you know I've got 2 trophies to do, and I just haven't got around to doing them yet. But they're pretty easy. I need to unlock I need to find a bit of armor, and what's the other thing I've got to do? I've got like 2 things to do, and it's just a wee bit of busy work to tidy up. I've got everything else done, so it won't be difficult to do. I don't think.
Nice.
Ghost of Tsushima, of course, is a game that I had a difficult time with because it just never really grabbed me for a while. And then I sort of sat and I went, I'm just going to finish the game. And basically, the game, this is minor spoilers, but the game's set into acts. And I wasn't mad keen. The first act had its moments. There was certainly very good moments in the first act. But see, once you get into Act 2, it literally just takes off. And I thought it was utterly fabulous from then on. And I was genuinely blown away by it. It's a funny one because I've said before I don't find the open world as alive as it could be in other games. It's not like Red Dead where it genuinely feels alive. It does feel more like a very beautiful world where you're more looking at the majesty of it rather than necessarily exploring it. But that's not necessarily the criticism it sounds like. It's just you have to sort of reprogram your brain and go, okay, because I don't think they ever necessarily set out to make a Red Dead style world. They set out to make a very beautiful sort of tapestry almost for you to spray blood everywhere. It's just a fabulous game, and it's going to look glorious. We've been playing the PS4 version on PS5, and it's stunning. So I cannot wait to see what they're able to do with PS5 with it. And I'm just so excited for some more Jin Sakai. I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited. I know for a fact MJ Play Games will just be very excited about all those new hot springs to find.
Aye, she's thirsty for the hot springs.
Aye, the hot springs. Just think of that, MJ. Think of all those hot springs. Yep. So, is there anything else you would like to say?
Nope.
No.
I did have something to say, but I can't remember what it was.
The distraction
lie.
with discussions about Jin Sakai and the hot springs.
No, I was thinking of saying something, and I thought I could say that when the host says, say bye-bye or whatever. I can't remember what it was.
No, well, that's good. That's good.
There's content for you.
Peel behind the curtain there. If, just the empty larder that is Paul's brain right about now. You've had a busy time though, haven't you, Paul? You've had a very busy time, so I think we'll let you away with that.
Thanks, mate.
Aye. So, gentlemen, have we got any upcoming streams? Do we have any upcoming streams we need to let people know about?
Oh, I don't know. I'm back at work, so I'm probably about.
You'll probably be sleeping.
Yeah.
We, of course, I think we did say it beforehand, but we will say it again. The highlight of the week last week was, of course, MJ Play Games fundraising stream, the 12-hour stream for Women in Games International. What was it, $1,500?
Yeah.
Was that what MJ smashed? $1,500. It was astonishing. The VOD will still be live on twitch.tv/MJ Play Games. There is a highlight reel as well. There's loads of stuff. Check it out. It's very, very funny. And you might see some familiar faces. Very briefly, but you will see some familiar faces. So well done, MJ. Astonishing work for a wonderful cause. I'm going to be tomorrow. I'm hopefully going to stream for a little bit around about the 12 o'clock stage. That's Friday the 13th. Ooh. I'm really worried. I'm getting my vaccine on Friday the 13th.
Whoopsie.
And then I'm working 14th, 15th. It's going to be a disaster.
Full Bruce Banner.
It's going to be an absolute disaster. But I'm still going to get my vaccine because it's not about me. It's about everybody. Anyway, that's me. Just get your vaccine. Don't be a dick.
Wear your mask.
Exactly. That's it. Timestamp that. I said a bad word, but I'm okay with that.
Oh, did he?
So,
see, I don't even notice anymore. Thank you, Blunder.
I did die. So
126.
yeah, I'll be on sort of like 12 p.m. ish tomorrow. I've got absolutely no idea what I'm playing. We'll just see what I feel like tomorrow.
Love a day like that.
Paolo, you going to be on around 2?
I am. It might be a wee bit later into it. I've got an appointment, which I don't know when I can make, so it might nudge my stream a wee bit forward, but I'll make it up at the other end, basically.
That's all right. That's all
Keep an eye on the
So-
Discord.
And then you'll just have to keep an eye on the Discord to see when Blunderboy streams. As I said, hopefully all things going well. Obviously Paolo will be there on Sunday for the Sunday social, and I will endeavour to stream on Sunday evening, possibly some more Dread Hunger. But who knows? Who knows? I'll see how I'm feeling.
Can I play?
But you certainly can.
Yeah.
You can play 2 Blunder if you want. So that's that. That's that. That was episode 93. Boys, we're getting very, very close to the 100 by the way.
We better plan something. We better plan something.
I've got something to say. Got something to say before I forget.
Here it comes.
Our wonderful friends, Andrew and Mish from Arcade Glasgow, are reopening. They are reopening very, very soon.
That's
it has been
hurrah.
over 500 days they have remained closed due to the pandemic and all that sort of stuff. They can finally open that incredible place, Arcade Glasgow. They will be reopening it very, very soon. Booking opens from the 14th of August. So that is this Saturday. 2 days time. You can book. You have to book. There's no walk-ins at the moment. You're going to have to book, but you can book yourself an arcade pass and get yourself in there, play some incredible games, and support the best business. The best business. Please do give them a chance. And actually, I'm going to go and see them at some point. At some point soon as well. So you never know. You might meet an early man.
Oh
you might meet an early man.
God, can you imagine?
You might meet an early man. I mean, I'm not convinced that I don't think they'll put that on their posters or anything like that. They might not want you to know that. That might actually chase people away. But you never know.
Can you imagine?
You never know. So so that's that. Please do check out Arcade Glasgow. You can of course find them on Twitter. You can find them on Google. You can find them on Twitch. You need to check that out. Right, boys, getting left to say where time is marching on.
Nope.
Ahoy,
okay.
ahoy.
Ahoy, hoy, indeed. We'll see you all very soon. We will be back next Thursday on Twitch for some games, and then we'll be back the following Thursday for episode 94. Until then, look after yourselves, stay safe, get your vaccine. Bye-bye.